Ignite Your Purpose Show, episode number 55. I'm going to say that again, 55. So, JB, Healthy Funky Free, Moss, Max, Maximus, Positive Vibes. Together, we are here to ignite your purpose. Max?
So, okay, we're rewind. So show one, we started all this on YouTube when John and I got together. We were doing it over Zoom. It's progressed into a daily thing now. But when John and I first started, we started talking about health. And a lot of the questions that have been coming into us lately, and not just via, on this internet thing, but people we talk to daily are like, it's overwhelming. And so I sit there and I take that in, and when I meditate it, I'm like, man, how can we, how was it that we changed? How was it that I changed? What was it? What was day one for me? Because I can remember back then, which was 10 years ago now, and it was just like, for lack of a better word, it was a clusterfuck. Excuse my French, right? But it was just like, what does healthy mean? Should I eat like this? Should I not do that? Do you know what I'm saying? Confusion, right? Because we don't know. And if I want to get into the story of how I was raised and what we ate, which is the standard North American diet, the SAD diet, right? You don't know better. We're not taught it in school. John and I are going to talk about that tomorrow, more than likely, about what schools are teaching, and I mean what they provide, like from pop machines. We just don't know. Yeah. So what I want to ask John is this, and this is based to help our viewers and the community we've created, is what was the first thing, right? What was day one for you? And I know what it is for me, and I'm going to be honest, I continue 10 years later to do this practice twice a year.
I'm going to try and show you something.
Okay. John, he's always on the fly, this guy.
I'm not pulling this out. Can you see the floor over there?
Yes, I can.
That's the current studying modules that are going on of an Cornell plant-based course that we're doing in the house. It's Colin Campbell, who's a bit of a rock star.
Yeah, a little bit, I'd say, yeah.
Every day, every week, there's learning going on. But Max, so say a question and I'll do my best.
So yeah, and that goes on, and again, 10 years ago to this day, I'm still learning. I put myself in courses, I read, I buy books, I talk to people. Something I've just done recently was start talking to the indigenous people of this area, being the Native Americans, whatever the hell you want to call them. Amazing, amazing people to see, if you go back into lineage, what were they eating here, right? Because you also got to take into content where you are. I'm in the Great White North, the cold of Canada on the West Coast. So every day I'm learning. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to learn more. So for me, John, what was my day one? What was my first step? What was my first process in this? And do you want me to answer it first?
No, I'm going to roll with this. Okay. 3.5 years or 4.5 years? I'm going to say it's 3.5 years ago.
Awesome.
My wife, she'd gone away for the weekend to see her brother. I'm going to try and give you the really short version. So I went down to the supermarket, the posh supermarket, and I bought a stir fry. And there was, in packets, so there was some meat, some noodles, sauce, and some vegetables. And to me, a stir fry at that time, we eat quite healthy. That's a healthy option to have.
Exactly.
And I think that weekend I'd also read an article in the paper saying, do you know, and I'm not saying sugar's the enemy here, that's another episode, how much sugar is in your food. So I read the labels, and there was something like 37, 40 teaspoons of sugar in this meal for 2 people. I was like, So we ate it anyway. We just left the sauce to one side. But we decided that on that moment, right, next weekend, let's do a detox. I think Emma had seen her mum and dad do one years ago. We had a book somewhere, and we did a very basic detox. And it still included meat, it still included dairy, it still included all of these things. But we went through a basic detox, and I think it just removed processed foods. both of us were up in the night with sort of insane headaches that night, taking pills because you get headaches because of a lack of aspirin, don't you know? And then we were talking about it over the next 2 or 3 days and said, well, if we decided to do a detox every couple of months, what we don't want to do is to go through this process. And so that day we said, right, let's just try and remove some of the processed foods. That was it. That was day one, three and a half, 4 years ago.
So simple, right? That's just, you don't know anything yet. You're just going to remove a few things from your diet, right?
And that was it was an experiment. Let's remove processed foods and let's remove processed foods and drink more water. So we'd buy a bottle of water, 2 liters each day. We'd write our name on it, not because we don't like tap water, but because, I've drunk that today.
I drank that much, yeah.
What happens when we do this? And I got a book and I made notes, and on this date we did this, and on this date we did this. How did I feel? What happened? Yeah. And that was the first.
So now you start journaling the journeys, start journaling the process.
Yeah.
And this takes time. What's funny is that I did not tell John this idea. I said I wanted to talk about a health series.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that's the exact same for me, a little different, but the exact same. So again, my story is, always going back to a story from the past, right? But thought I was eating, 10 years in the game, thought I was eating healthy. And that to me was, if you went to the burger joint, you would just take the top of the burger off and, you'd eat the rest of the burger, but not half of the bun, because I somehow assumed that was healthy. And if I eat fish, and not a clue, brother. Like I said, absolutely not a clue, because I wasn't researching enough. I started reading books, but this was on a certain day. I met my teacher, who I'm still with, and he said, man, you should come see me. Humans, you got to think of it like a car. If you haven't, and at that time I was like 25, 26 years old, he said, it's just like a car. He said, if you haven't changed the oil in 20, 30 years, then it's time for an oil change. And it didn't make any sense to me, right? I was like, oil change makes sense to me. How do we change our oil? I sat down with him, and the very first thing he said was, bro, you need to get on a liver and gallbladder cleanse for week 1, and week 2 is going to be a colon cleanse. And he told me to stay off certain foods. And I still have the thing right there. And those certain foods were chocolates, no coffees, caffeine, no white, meaning no sugars, no pizza, no pasta, no alcohol, no eggplants, no acidic tomatoes type shit, peppers, anything in the nightshade family. So still, I look at it now, and it's how I eat now. But back then it was like K2. And I remember that 2 weeks, which I dragged it out for a month because I'm an eager beaver. I'm crazy like that. You see me, John. I'm skin and bones. I lost 14 pounds, bro. From the inside, man. From the inside. So that was gunk that stuck in your just it's inside you, right? So that was my step 1. I still did not know anything. I knew zero about what health was, what healthy eating is, and that's something we'll get deeper into. Like, what is the definition of healthy? Because you and I see it all the time. My mom, I was just there, stopped by to see her. Love my mamacita, my Italiano mama. She tells me she's eating healthy, and I just look at her and I look what she's putting on the plate, what's in the fridge, and I'm like, I used to think that was healthy too.
Max, we have just had the conversation in this house. How do I speak to my mum? Because she's killing my dad. With love. With love. She's making him these incredible meals. She's fucking killing him. And he's already had the first kind of warning, but the next warning is going to be, and I'm not joking. I'm not saying this with, I fucking told you so. Breaks my heart.
Exactly. And this goes back to, especially for our community. Like, I don't want to say I'm a seasoned vet, because I'm a baby in this game, and I know I am. I know there's so much more to learn. Like, I can't read enough in a week to keep up and learn. Something I've done now is I'm going back to the ancient ways, because a lot of my teachings are from 7th generation lineage from Eastern Asia, and it's just, I'm trying to just learn what we used to do, where the society's changed. How me with being Sicilian and Italian, how even coming over here to Canada, how the diet changed, and all these things, right? But day one, step one, and I've stick to this, is I twice a year, spring and fall, spring and fall, spring and fall, like clockwork. We know there's a summer solstice, we know there's a winter solstice. So from that, I do a cleanse twice a year. I've gone so far as to do solid food vacations as I've grown, right? Solid food vacation, which means I'm just juicing. That's a whole nother way to do it. So you're not popping pills. You're just giving your body a lax water only diet. And I've also got into doing parasite cleanses.
Yeah.
So, but that's a growth over 10 years. We're talking day one, and I've stuck to it, is a cleanse. Because if today's going to be the first day of the rest of our life, we need to get all that shit we've built up there. Whether you're 15, whether you're 30, whether you're 65, that stuff's got to get out.
We need to put
step one, day one.
We need to put the body in a position where it can take care of itself, because our liver, our kidney, our colon, they're all stuffed full of shit. Excuse me. So we need to get some of that out to let the body repair itself. Now, Max and I, we cross over on a lot of areas. We don't cross on other areas, but and I think throughout life, if you look at all the various diets and schemes out there, if we kind of look at the common ground, that's a really good place to focus on. And we will cover that over the next 3, 4, 8, 10, 100 weeks. I think what would be really, really interesting is if anybody's out there listening to that, you name the subject. If you want to talk if you would like us to talk about dairy or meat or being a vegan or being a fruitarian or an airtarian or whatever it might be, about juices,
or where to start,
colonic irrigations or enemas or whatever you want to, fucking earthing and grounding. Done it all, been there, done it all. Not at all, to some level. So
and to wrap this up, just if you're looking for a reason to start or somehow to start, just ask, man. I'm telling you, I could not ever go back to not that we can ever go back, but I can't go back to how I used to eat. I just can't do it. When you wake up feeling this amazing, don't get me wrong, there's peaks and valleys, but on my worst day now, on my absolute worst, lowest day now, I'm 200% better than I was on my best days back in the day. Not even a question.
All the tea in China, I won't go back. And all I would say is anything I say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a freaking scientist, but I'm quite a bright guy, and with the best research and knowledge that I can find today, that is what I will say. And it's right for me, it may not be right for you. I could read something different next week, and then I will reassess. I'll do some experiments, I'll do some more research. Where did that document come from? Who paid for it? Exactly. I'm going to try something, look at the results and go, okay, off the basis of that, I'll make a decision to go forward, not necessarily a simple headline in the paper saying cranberry juice will make your hair return. It's true.
There you go. You're looking a little shiny there, brah.
Yeah, man.
All right, people, as always, we thank you. We know you could be anywhere in the world, and you was right here with Ignite Your Purpose.
Thank you.
The show, and we appreciate, man. We appreciate.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Tune in, share the news, and spread the love, and we will see you again tomorrow.